Hi, I'm Lisa. Welcome to my channel. This is my random recipes. These are the desserts. I'm currently working my way through the cakes. Today's cake is from my Grandma Ann. Today's recipe is called Grandma Ann's Applesauce Fruitcake. To be completely honest with you, fruitcakes kind of scare me. It's all the petrified fruits that you buy from the store. When I found a way to make homemade candy fruits, it redeemed fruitcake for me. A while back, I made a recipe called friendship cake. That's where I learned to make candy fruits that are actually edible. With that recipe, begin with a starter that can be saved and used for other applications. I'm going to put together the candied fruit for Grandma Ann's Applesauce Fruitcake. This is going to be day one. I'm just going to put it together and then it's going to kind of sit and ferment for the next 3 weeks. I'm going to start off with, I have this syrup that I used to make the friendship cake. This is the syrup that was left over, and this acts as a starter. So you save the syrup and then you use it again. In this goes. And then these are apricots. This is one 16-ounce jar or can of apricots that I've cut up small. And they go in there as well with the juice. And then this is 2.5 cups of sugar. We're going to give this a stir. I'm going to cover the jar with a coffee filter, and I'm going to use a rubber band to keep the coffee filter in place. And then I will be back each day and give this a stir for the next 10 days. So that's all we need to do for today. This is my starter. This is how much I have left over after I have pulled out what I need for my recipe. This is about 1.8 cups of my candied fruit. There are peaches, apricots, pineapple, and maraschino cherries. This starter is what I use to make the candied fruit that will go into this recipe. Yes, it is a bit of a commitment of time to make the starter, but honestly, after the first day after you assemble the starter, the rest of the days, for the most part, are just a matter of a quick stir. The alternative is to use the stuff that you buy at the store. If that's your preference, by all means, go that route. I'm going to be cutting the recipe in half today. I think this recipe is designed to be gifts for holiday season, and I just honestly don't need ginormous quantities of fruitcake, and since this is kind of an experiment, that's probably just as well. This fruitcake does take quite a while to bake, so I think I better get to work. This is applesauce that I heated on the stove. This is 1.5 cups of applesauce. It's 1 cup of sugar and 1/2 cup of shortening. I heated it on the stove. You're supposed to bring it to a boil and boil it for 5 minutes. I have done that and now it's cooling. So we'll add this into our recipe. This will be like the last ingredient I add to the recipe. So I'm going to set this aside. I'm going to do my dry ingredients first. So this is 2¼ cups of flour. To that I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of baking soda and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We're going to sift those together. I'm going to take some of the flour and add it to my candied fruit. I'm going to kind of toss the fruit with the flour so that the fruit doesn't all end up at the bottom of the cake in a big clump. The noise that you're hearing in the background is Cookie. She is filling her oats today. She likes to be noisy some days, and today's one of those days. I'm going to set this aside. Next, we are going to add 1/2 pound of raisins, half a cup of nuts. Like say my go-to nuts are usually pecans, which these are. And we're going to add cinnamon. This is a teaspoon of cinnamon. So this is 1/2 teaspoon of nutmeg and 1/4 teaspoon of cloves. Give that a little bit of a stir and just combine them. And then I'm going to add my fruit. The one thing I have noticed about this recipe is that it has no eggs. I mean, I actually went back to looked up Grandma's original recipe, and I looked through it, and there are no eggs. I'm a little concerned about it for that reason. Next, we're going to add our applesauce. I have my oven preheating. Today's cake gets baked at 250 degrees, so it's a low oven. It looks moist. This goes into a 9x5 loaf pan. This is going into my 250-degree oven, and it's supposed to bake for 2.5 hours. So I will go ahead and put this in the oven, and I will be back when I take it out of the oven. It has been a while, but I am back. It took a good 2.5 hours for this to bake, and then I also let it cool for about 30 minutes. It's still pretty warm, and I had difficulty getting it out of the pan. Oh, it's kind of lumpy and bumpy. It had a hard time coming out of the pan, even though I had prepared the pan, so I had greased it. It is really, really moist. So I think rather than cutting off a piece, I'm just going to taste it with the parts that didn't want to come out of the pan. So just do a fingerful. It really tastes good. I taste the warm spices, so the cinnamon, nutmeg, and cloves. The fruit makes it real sweet. They add to the flavor. It's really messy. I went 2 hours and 25 minutes. I checked it with a skewer. It was all the way done. But yet it's extremely sticky and had a hard time coming out of the pan, but I did get it out. I think if I were going to do this again, I would either do the sling in the pan so that it would lift out easier, or I would maybe do them in muffin papers. That way they could just pop right out. I mean, the flavor is really good. It's just really, really super moist. Almost to where it's a problem. This fruitcake is a little bit different it's different from other fruitcakes in that it doesn't have any alcohol in it. There might be a little bit of residual alcohol in the starter from when I originally put it together, but if there is, it's just a little tiny bit. And the homemade candied fruits definitely make this fruitcake a lot more palatable, at least for me. And the applesauce does make it very, very moist. I am glad I decided to do half a recipe. This would have been 2 full loaves of fruitcake if I had done the full recipe. And it was big. I was actually surprised. It domed up really well. It rose really well considering that there were no eggs in this. Next time I'll be making another recipe from my Grandma Ann. I will include the ingredients and the preparation for Grandma Ann's applesauce fruitcake in the description below, both half and the full recipe. In the comments, I'll include a link to the friendship cake in case you want more information on the starter. If you have any questions or other feedback for me, please feel free to reach out to me in the comments. I really do enjoy hearing from you. If you give this recipe a try, please drop an emoji into the comments and let me know what you think. If it was yummy, if it was icky, or somewhere in between. Please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate that. It does help my channel to continue to grow. Thank you for joining me on my journey through the desserts and through the cakes. I will see you next time. Bye.